I'm Felix Leiter, international DJ and producer.
My name's Dan Nightingale from the Have a Word podcast.
And together we're going to explore the samples that feature in tracks you love in a show we like to call
Show Me the Sample.
Cigarettes and Alcohol, released in 1994. The fourth single from their seminal debut album, Definitely Maybe. This track proclaims the virtues of Siggy's booze and recreational drug abuse as a remedy to the banality and seemingly futile nature of working class life.
Oh, mate.
Right, I'm going to stop it there. Obviously, we could watch it all. Obviously, as discussed, we could listen to the whole album, but it's not going to get us anywhere.
But Felix, inequality that you picked out the Oasis song, and I know you've done it on purpose, that is the one that everyone harks back to, like, Sunshine. Is that opening line as he strains into his unusual mic stance is so... like iconic, isn't it, for Oasis? Like, is it my imagination? I love it.
Before we delve into the musical influences of Cigarettes and Alcohol, let's take a ferry ride with the Oasis lads to Amsterdam for what would have been their first overseas gig via the 1995 single release, Wibbling Rivalry. It was recorded in April 1994 by John Harris, who was at the time working for British music magazine NME. It's basically the Gallagher brothers bickering about the aforementioned ferry journey. The title is a portmanteau of the expression sibling rivalry and the British slang term wibble, referring to meaningless banter, chat, drivel, just, having a fucking eggy bit of chat with your brother, basically. Let's take a listen to a small clip from that conversation.
How do you feel about the fact that already Oasis have attracted a reputation for being a kind of rock and roll animals?
The thing about getting thrown off ferries, blah blah blah, getting deported is something that I'm not proud about, because
I am that.
Yeah, all right. Well, if you're proud about getting thrown off ferries, then why don't you go and support West Ham? Get the fuck out of my band and go be a football hooligan, right? Because we're musicians, right? We're football hooligans.
Because you're in bed fucking...
No, I'm not at all. Listen, here's a quote for you from my manager, Marcus Russell, right?
He's a fucking other fucking...
Shut up, you dick, right? He gets off the ferry after getting fucking deported. I'm left in Amsterdam with my dick out like a fucking spare prick at a fucking wedding. Shut up, right? He gets off the ferry. Marcus says, what are you fucking doing? What the fuck's got...
Wonderful, magical, wonderful.
These lot think it's rock and roll to get thrown off a ferry.
No, don't.
Shut up. These lot think it's rock and roll to get thrown off... Shut the fuck up, man. These lot think... And we're going to have to say this, are you going to shut up? These lot think it's rock and roll to get thrown off a ferry, right, to come into hotel fires, to get everybody at it, and they go, shut up. They start thinking, hey, it's rock and roll. Do you know what my manager said to him? He said, nah, rock and roll is going to Amsterdam, doing your gig, playing your music. That's rock and roll. Right? And coming back and saying, we blew him away. Not getting thrown off the ferry like some fucking scout schlepper with being handcuffed. That's football hooliganism.
No, it isn't.
And I won't stand for it.
No, it isn't. They sick.
And they all got fined £1,000 each.
Mate, it's funny, but I love it. Like my manager said, you know what's rock and roll? Not getting thrown off ferries. It's going and doing the gig and making him money and then going home in a timely fashion and not missing, the ferry terminal, not, having to buy another ticket.
I mean, for me, Noel Gallagher, single most talented singer-songwriter of his generation, hands down. I won't even fucking listen to anyone who disagrees with me. To give that first clip, Wibbling Rivalry, a bit of context, this was taken from the 2006 Oasis documentary, Supersonic.
Get on the ferry. I don't know how we get on the ferry because we're pissed, but we get on this ferry.
As fate would have it, there was a load of West Ham fans on this overnight ferry. It's got a casino on it and a fucking nightclub.
The Thursday night ferry to the Dam. Who goes to Amsterdam on a ferry for the weekend? What kind of clientele?
The drink of choice for a few hours, champagne and Jack Daniels slammers. The next thing is that sporadic fighting is breaking out all around us, really. Liam is very excited by the prospects of a lot of chaos going on, and he goes and joins in.
Yeah, it was fucking mayhem, man. I loved it.
You can see him running through the windows along the deck. He's having a great time. He looks like he's in a school playground chasing leaves.
Liam at one point said they ran through a casino and he flung all the roulette shit off the table as he was running past.
Then there's a fight broke out, and all I remember was it was a bit Benny Hill.
The next time I see him, he's still running, but he's got policemen running after him.
Someone's punched someone, someone's kicked someone, someone's got nicked, and then we're handcuffed, sent down to the bottom of the boat. We get locked up.
Woke up next day and I spoke to the customs and I said, look, I'm kind of missing 4 people. Do you know where they are?
We were heading back, not having any money, couldn't phone anyone, couldn't do nothing.
I remember getting to the hotel and having to ring Marcus and Alec, and they're going, you fucking what? You what?
And he says, you've fucking blown it, you've blown it. But that was punk rock, man. Management, fuck them. Never listen to a word them clowns said anyway, you know what I mean?
I called McGee, and I'll never forget this, and this is another reason why I love McGee. I said, are you sitting down? I've got some news. Everybody's been arrested. The only word he said was, brilliant.
If you're enjoying this episode, help us out. Give us a share on Facebook, Insta, Twitter. Tag us, tag a mate. Stick it in someone's DMs. Call them up and tell them to watch Show Me the Sample. Anything you can do to spread it will be appreciated. Also, give us a follow on Insta and Twitter, both on @ShowMeTheSample. We interact a lot on there and also give you the chance to vote on future episodes. So go and give it a follow and interact with us.
Show me the sample.
So if dance music relies on actually lifting like a piece of music and putting it into a new production, because it's sort of more digitally produced, like most dance music is now and has been for years, produced on a computer. Rock and roll is a bit more of a visceral thing where influence is inferred and often riffs are borrowed. What I mean by that is they're not always as oftenly officially credited, and in this case, that's the sketch. T-Rex, Get It On, released in 1971 in the UK, where it topped the charts. But upon its US release, it had to be renamed due to possible confusion with another track, so is known as Bang a Gong, Get It On. Also reached the top 10 of the Billboard charts. It was written by the band's lead singer, Mark Bolan, who we've discussed on this series before, mate. He was married to Gloria Jones of Tainted Love fame. That episode is a Patreon exclusive, so if you want to check that out, see the links below. Let's take a listen, mate.
Slim and you're weak, you got the teeth of
So I'll stop it there and just take you back just to listen to that very first section again. And you picked it. It's the bit that you really get is the like. So let's just listen to that very first section again. Here we go.
Is it my imagination, or have I finally... What?
So Mark Bolan wanted, in this track, to recreate a vibe from one of his predecessors' songs, Little Queenie by Chuck Berry. He said that he took that riff from the Chuck Berry record and sort of slowed it down, and he even references the Chuck Berry record in Get It On. So, as always, mate, you can see that music is just ever evolving. Artists are taking inspiration from previous generations and constantly regurgitating music to create new and more interesting vibes from it.
How did I not know this? I almost feel like a bit like, did everyone know this? I sort of, like, it's so obvious, I'm blown away. He's sampled it. Noel Gallagher's been sampling. How are we doing a show me the sample of an Oasis song? At the start, I was like, mate, I'll talk about Oasis if you want. But I'm like, we're genuinely talking about a sample.
Get It On was covered by a huge range of artists, including Blondie, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, The Power Station, and many, many more. I'm going to hit you with the same old question, mate. Good use of sample by Noel Gallagher? Bad use of sample? Like, what's your thoughts on the sampling? I mean, you know, as you call it, it's not a straight sample. He's definitely taken reference from the riff. He's definitely lifted it. He's definitely even copied it, but it's not credited on the songwriting. And, you know, Bolan got no money for this. So, you know, is it a good use of referencing, a good use of sampling? What do you think about it?
Well, they're both cracking songs. I fucking love Cigarettes and Alcohol. Get It On's an absolute banger, innit? It's still played today. But I mean, it's a bit shifty though, innit? That T-Rex never got a penny. I'm saying musically, you've got two bangers, so you can't fault it.
It's just rock and roll at the end of the day, mate. And as Liam Gallagher would say, it's just punk rock, as you were. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Show Me The Sample and help us vote for new future episodes. Subscribe to Show Me The Sample on Patreon. You'll get access to full uncut episodes of this YouTube version. You'll also get Patreon-only shows, podcasts, and you get to check out exclusive early pirates of the show. If you're enjoying the series, help us out. Give it a share. Copy it, paste it, send it to someone's DMs, tweet it, put it in your stories. Just help us out and help us spread the show. If you've got any tracks you'd like us to talk about, stick them in the comments below. If you think we got something wrong in this show, if you think there's something we should know about Oasis, about cigarettes and alcohol, stick it in the comments. I'd love to know more. He's been Dan Nightingale.
He's been Felix Leiter.
Thank you for watching Show Me The Sample.
And then I thought, do you know what? I fancy a little bag of crisps. So I got some Burton's fish and chips from... I'm just a relaxed man. I've got the same sort of like feeling as, I don't know if this is the same for everyone, but I used to have a can of pop and a bag of Burton's fish and chips crisps after I'd finished my swimming lessons in like 1988. And I've got that same level of satisfaction. Pop and a bag of Burton's fish and chips crisps after I'd finished my swimming lessons in like 1988. And I've got that same level of satisfaction.